Hello and welcome to this second vlog of Christ Theory of how we make music. Today we released our second single, so it's also time for a second how we made it. In this video, I will go over how the song came to be, and we're gonna nerd out a bit in Logic, I'm gonna show you stuff we did to make the song sound how it sounds. And this song has like a lot of layers, so there's a lot to unpack. I hope it's going to be a lot shorter than our last video. Our last video was pretty long, but it was also about explaining what Christ Theory is, how we came together. Well, so if you're interested in how Christ Theory came together and stuff, watch the other how-to video, so how we created Against a Lot. This is how we created Disgrace. So let's start off with how did Disgrace came to be. One thing you might have noticed, Disgrace is a part of an EP. We did now 2 songs, and it has 2 artists. It's Christ Theory and it's Sietse de Krieger. This is kind of fun because Sietse is actually also a part of Christ Theory. So how can you be a featuring artist in the same band? That's a bit weird. So let me also explain that. So it's quite easy. Disgrace, Sietse has already released that on his solo project. So his solo project is just called Sietse de Krieger, and he already released the song Disgrace. And with Christ Theory, the thing is actually like when Sietse and I started Christ Theory, he showed me that song. I think it was not even released yet. And he was like, I'm going to release this soon. And I was like, oh, it's an insane song. And actually, he just sent me the song and I put it into Logic, and I just starting to just out of boredom almost, or just things that I heard, adding an orchestral layer to it. And he was like, whoa, this is cool. Let's do a remix with Christ Theory, which was, remind you, Christ Theory was then just Sietse and me together, so just 2 people. So let's do another remix of the song with a bit more the orchestrals and that kind of stuff in there. So that is how the idea started. So this is also why it's a split EP with 2 artists. So it's Sietse and Christ Theory. Well, Sietse is also part of Christ Theory, but yeah. And on the EP, we have released a second song because when we just started, we also made a other song called Ignominy, and yeah, that is just something Sietse and I did actually together. It's also instrumental, there's no vocals and stuff, but it's just a fun song. It's really you can like think of it of like Mick Gordon Doom soundtrack kind of song. And we really liked it, and we wanted to share it with everyone. So we were just like, let's add it to this EP so that we have 2 songs on the EP. One that's a bit more like his other work, like the solo work he does, like with no vocals. And then the big Disgrace that has like even vocals and everything from Christ Theory worked on that. So that's also the fun part. So it started out with just me taking Sietse's song, adding orchestrals to it. And then we send it like, then Christ Theory actually got bigger. We got more people involved. And then it was like, I think Fabio was like, wait, I want to try and, even though it's like a super busy song and there's so many layers going on, let me try to add another layer, vocals. And he sent it back to us and we were like, oh yeah, this is insane. And then Leo came in with screaming vocals in the verses, and we added 2 extra guitar solos, and yeah, Renee did all the drums, of course. So yeah, we ended up like everyone from Christ Theory worked on this Disgrace Christ Theory remix. And I feel like they're now almost like 2 different songs. If you hear the solo version of Sietse, it's way more into that like metal mixed with synthesizers groove. And this is like a whole big song with a million layers. And I think that both songs have like their pros and cons. I think this might be a little bit too busy for some people, like so many layers, while other people listen to the solo or the solo version that Sietse doing and maybe think like, oh, this could use lyrics. Now you can have both. So I hope that everyone likes it. So I'm gonna make myself a little bit smaller We talked about the song, so let's listen to it. And yeah, I will go over some stuff we did for this song. So let's start with the intro part.
I feel the darkness creeping in. It's like a disease. My mind is playing tricks on me. I'm lost in my own misery. So take my
Yeah, so actually the fun part of this intro bit is it's actually not that different from the solo version of Sietse. Actually, the solo version of Sietse is just here. But it has a EQ filtering on there, so it sounds more like it's coming from old radio. And the same EQ filtering is on on the vocals of Fabio. You hear that effect. And I think the only thing that's a little bit different is there is a piano edit in there. So, like I said, Fabio's vocals, if you listen to this,
I feel the darkness creeping in. It's like a disease.
yeah, they have that old radio sound. I think it's like Fab Filter, Pro EQ, and then just a phone. There is like a phone preset, and it's always sounding really great to get these effects. And then there is like this piano. There's a little bit of a haunting piano with a delay that I think the delay goes either a pitch up or pitch down. Let's listen. Yeah, so it's pitching up. Just to give it a bit more creepy vibe. We listen to this together. So, and also to give it the feeling like, oh, this is different than the solo version. Well, then we just hit the chorus. So let's listen. Yeah, so Sita already wrote like a great chorus, and then Fabio just layered a lot on there, and like a lot of orchestral stuff is going on. If we just take a listen to all the orchestral, so I'm gonna solo all orchestral, you will hear like there's so much going on. There's a lot of layering of the synthesizers, like the synthesizers do the same pattern, the same notes, but it's just layered with brass and violins to give it like that orchestral feeling. One of the cool things is, of course, the tuned percussion that's in here, like the glockenspel is this, so or tubular bells are this actually. Just give like that nice ring, and having that like start of every 4 beats gives the chorus a little bit more power. So if we listen to that, you can really hear the power there. Then going to the first verse, listening to it, you can also see that in this first verse, you can immediately already see that there's more orchestral in it. We have some woodwinds coming in to give like nice high end, and we see that I think the tubular bells are getting a bit louder to really hammer down on the structure of the verse. It's really like almost a breakdown kind of structure. And you will hear that here.
Searching for a way out, a way to break free from the chains. I'm looking for a sign, a guiding light to lead me through this heaven night. I feel the weight of the world on my shoulders. The pressure builds up, it's getting colder. My mind's racing, my heart beating fast. I'm trying to escape, but the memories last.
Yeah, so one cool thing here is what I really like is the vocals from Leon. where we have added the Joey Sturgis, Howard Benson vocal multiplier, so it sounds like a big choir is doing it.
My mind is racing, my heart's beating fast. I'm trying to escape.
On that one, so Leon actually did a few layers, but then we took those layers and we multiplied them with just a plugin, which is really cool. And I think the effect sounds super awesome in the whole mix.
On my shoulder, the pressure builds up, it's getting colder. My mind is racing, my heart's beating fast. I'm trying to escape.
Yeah, and we did those layers added with a more reverb, so it's like a whole choir and you hear all that stuff. So that's actually like really cool use of that Howard Benson vocal multiplier plugin, and I really liked it. Then we go into a more cleaner bit where we hear a bit more of the orchestral going on. Yeah, so and within this part is actually like the clean guitar that's on the solo version and that you also hear on this just does it keeps repeating it, but the orchestral does I just think like that's a nice layer to add with that. We can listen to it if we take like the lead guitar and we add the orchestrals to there and the lead guitar. So we can actually hear that going on. So the it's also layering up, like it's it goes higher and it gives like the feeling of it's getting resolved more and more, and ending up in the guitar solo part, what I called here Solo City, because yeah, these are like Sietze and Leon did a guitar solo on this. So let's listen to the guitar solos and zoom in on them a bit. So in the original song that Sietze did, the solo version, only the first guitar solo is there. So this first part that I'm showing here is there, and this part is not there. So one of the things we really wanted to do is like showcase like that we have really good guitarists at Christ Theory. Not only Sietze, who wrote the song and who did this first solo part, but of course Leon, who is like an insane guitar teacher and guitar coach and guitar guru. Show that he can also like do insane solos, which he did here. So that's really cool. In the solo part, there is no solo on this, and we were just like, okay, let's just extend that solo with Leon. And if we take like Leon's solo, I think it's insane. The end of his solo is so fast. Super cool to work with people that can do that. The funny thing is, later in the song, during the breakdown, I do a guitar solo, and you can really hear that I'm like the worst guitar player of Christ Theory. But I just did a different kind of solo, which fitted, luckily. But that means like all three people who play guitar in Christ Theory do a guitar solo on this song, which was really cool to do. After that, we come into like a synth bridge breakdown part, which is actually pretty cool. Layered on top are like Leon's rough vocals. So let's have a listen.
The journey is hard.
Yeah, so as you can hear in this part, there are like a million synthesizers going on. So if we just solo the synthesizer, you can really hear like there's so much going on. Yeah, so there are like four synthesized melodies going on, and you hear the sub destroyer synth also going in there to hammer down those sub notes. It's insane, and that combined with the guitars doing the same part, the bass doing the same part. I believe like the bass even here does like has octaver on it, so it's like a really heavy bass. Yeah, so it has an octave, so it's like really low behind, under there. There's another bass, but it's also like the high bass is there, which gives it like a really cool feeling. And this all goes into the next part, what I call the dark chorus. It's what this part is my favorite part of the song. So let's listen to it, and I'm gonna explain some stuff on how we created it and why it's my favorite part. Okay, why I love this part. It is the chorus, but it's also not the chorus. And that's kind of cool. Like the chord structure of the chorus here is a little bit different. It uses just a little bit different chords than the first chorus where we started with and the last chorus that we end with. And also the guitar is not just playing the chorus chords. It's making like, yeah, let's just listen to it and you get the idea of what the guitar actually is doing here. So I'm putting on now the guitar, the bass, and the drums just to give the feeling together. But yeah. So as you can hear, the guitar is not playing the chords. The guitar is like really doing like a riff version of the chorus, and I think that's so cool, especially if you combine it with the strings that are on here, because the strings aren't actually playing the chords, so they're in the lead. So that's super cool, and what I really like is the second part of this dark chorus, because then the strings are adding an extra octave above it, and that makes it feel like super epic, super opening it up. So let's listen to it, and you will get the feeling what I do. Let's also add the some more like the synths in there and the FX and the orchestral drums to really hear how big it's gonna get. Yeah, so for me that's like an epic part. Now we're gonna stay in this part, but we're gonna take a look at another piece because something is happening here. There's a choir being added, and we hear the choir a bit later more too. But I want to deep dive a bit in this choir. So let's listen to this choir stuff that's going on here. So this is actually not a choir sample. This is created using East West Hollywood Choir, and it's using the word builder. So we wrote lyrics actually for this, and we and then we designed the vocal melody, and on that vocal melody we added those lyrics. So yeah, that is pretty cool to just like you hear people saying words, um, and but they are actually not there. So that's really cool. I'm gonna deep dive a little bit more into that. We're deep diving in the choir. I did a small cut and opened another project because the project I was showing you first was the project I was mixing in, and this is the writing project. These days I have a strong enough computer that I don't need to separate those two anymore. When we created this song, I didn't. So that's why there is a little cut and I changed. I want to show you guys the choir. So here we have the choir. It's dry. It doesn't have any reverb on there and that kind of stuff, but let's listen to it. So as you can see, there's a MIDI melody here. And actually, I wrote the vocal melody on a synthesizer. I was listening to Sietz's his track, and I was like, da, da, da. This would fit really well. And I actually was first playing around with doing that with a violin or whatever. But then I started playing around with a choir. And first I started just with a choir that says, ah. So it was, and then I thought, like, I'm going to do something really weird. I'm going to write lyrics. I am definitely not a lyric writer, but yeah, I tried something. So if we look into this, the East-West, Hollywood is this, you can actually just type in your lyrics and they will sing it. So for people who don't know this is like mind blown. Yeah, you can literally type anything in here and they will sing it. It sometimes depends on how good you will hear it, but these are the lyrics. So it's take my hand, follow me now, into death, it's the end. As you can see, I'm a real poet. I can really write lyrics really well. Now, I'm also like, not only am I Christ Theory's worst guitar player, I'm also Christ Theory's worst lyrics player, creator, but doesn't matter. It works for this. So as we can hear, my hand, follow me now, into death, it's the end. And you can see I misspelled the D because with one E they made it didn't sound like the end. They made like the end or something. It sounded not really cool. I'm doing this with a female and a male choir. These then got bounced, and when you put the reverb on there and some effects and stuff, it actually sounds pretty decent, like a real choir in a nice church. So yeah, this is super cool technology. You can just type and they will sing it. This is of course always playing with the notes and that kind of stuff, and how long stuff needs to be and the timing. But it worked, and it works really, really great on this track. So I showed you now how this choir is created. So let's go back to the song, and you will hear that the next part is really like classical, that choir is coming more to the front. You hear some orchestral drums going in, which all lead up to also having drums getting in. So let's listen to this whole part. So this whole part, starts off with a really classical feeling, then the drums kicking and the drums sounding like amazing and full width. Again, like I said in my last video, really thanks to George from Mix Ready Templates. Go check him out. He helped with this drum sound, and the drums sound insane. So super happy with this. Um, but then what's really cool is like the strings actually repeat what they do in the dark chorus. So they start off from here with just a bit lower, and then in the second part, and when the drums kick in, they add that high octave again, which make it feel wide, which make it like something's gonna happen. And then in the second half of where the drums already kick in, we kick in with a synthesizer again, giving it like it's orchestral and there's drums. There's no guitar yet, but then there is like synthesizer coming in and making it feel like something more is going to happen, and making like a really weird mix. When do you hear like an orchestral stuff with synthesizers now and a drum? Like almost never, but you hear it here, and it works out pretty well. So if we just listen like to this last part. Yeah, so you really hear that high octaves coming in from the strings, and you really hear like the central melody of the song coming back in from the synthesizer. This all leads to a breakdown. The breakdown has a small guitar solo on there, which this is the guitar solo that I created. It's nothing special. The only fun thing is in this later part, I will solo it out soon. Let's just listen first to the breakdown. Yeah, so what's fun in this part is like what I call the psychedelic piece of my guitar solo is kind of cool. If we solo that out, you can hear it a little bit better, and why I call it psychedelic. So it has like multiple layers going on, multiple octaves, and then it's also like spinning from left to right, which is just fun, makes it a little bit different. It's just to hide how bad of a guitar player I am compared to Leon and Sitsa. I just put a lot of effects on there, and it's our secret. In this other piece, I think I've added again the tubular bells, and I think now I'm gonna test my memory. I think I added the piano in the breakdown too. Gonna listen? Yeah. Luckily. And I don't know, it just gives a feeling to this breakdown. Just adding this one piano note, it's like not even playing anything, but if we listen to it, it really adds to the whole atmosphere of this breakdown. At least I think it's pretty cool. So after the breakdown, we come into a pre-chorus, which is just we switch from big strings. We're going to switch to some solo strings. So it's just a cello and an alt violin in this part, together with a little bit of voice, and again back to that. Back to the plugin that makes it sound like it's an old radio. So it's the FabFilter Pro Q with the phone preset. So it's just a nice small piece. Bring everything down again after the heavy breakdown. This gives like the sense that the chorus again after that is going to be a lot bigger again. If we would have left this out and just go from heavy breakdown directly back into the big chorus, I think the impact is less. So We added this little piece. Then the last chorus. So you might have noticed, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm going to tell you. Fabio, the singer, actually uses two lyrics for the chorus. So on the first chorus, if we go back, let's listen.
So take my hand, I won't let the dark consume me.
You can see he sings, so take my hand, I won't let the dark consume me. But if we look at the darker chorus that's here, as I showed you how I created the chorus, what's the lyrics of the chorus, he just follows the lyrics of that, the chorus, the choir, he follows the lyrics of the choir. So, and especially in the second part of this chorus, there is where the Fabius vocals are getting a little bit louder to really hammer home that lyric. So, as you can hear, Fabio is following the lyrics of the choir that we saw how I built the choir with the word builder. So he's following the take my hand, follow me now lyric. So, okay, so what do you then do with a final chorus? You want to make it really big. So my idea was, I want to have the choir in there, but we also have like the other lyric in there. So I worked really, really hard. I think I've never worked as hard on a chorus vocal as this, because what I did was I put in both. And my first idea was like, okay, just put them in both and see what happens. Well, that was total chaos. Then my idea was like, okay, what if we do the one lyric on the left speaker and the other lyric on the right speaker? That kind of worked. But what I ended up doing was just the choir and stuff is turned down in the first part of the last chorus and is louder in the second part, and is actually layered by Leon screaming the choir. And brought up more, but in that first part it's less. And then what I used was like just Fabius' other vocals are actually done with an effect, so a bit more like that radio effect again, so that they are a bit more EQ'd and they come through cleaner and they pan a little bit. So let's listen to this last chorus and see if you can notice that both lyrics are going on, and then we will solo that a bit so we can really hear it.
So take my
So yeah, that's kind of sick, and I can really understand people that say, well, for me this is too much layer. We have the orchestrals, we have the synths, and now we have two vocals going through each other. I get that. For me, I like it. I think like this is something else that you would normally hear in metal, and I think we just took the risk to do this, and I think it paid off. I think it sounds really good to me, but I can understand other people. So let's listen to that, how that sounds if we just solo the vocals and we take the choirs with it too. So
take my I won't let the dark consume me. I'll break free from this misery. I'll take control of my own fate. So take my hand. Well, take my hand. Well, follow me now. Into death. Yes,
So yeah, a lot going on. A lot of even harmony vocals piercing through and all that kind of stuff. But together it sounds really cool, I think, in the last chorus. So let's now take a look at the outro, the last part of the song. So that's the last part of the song. Let's look at it really quick. A few things that I really like that I want to point out is like we keep on repeating "It's the end," like that's the choir's last lyrics. Leon keeps repeating it, and at the final part, the final time, I put a vocal shredder over there, and it sounds pretty cool. We can solo that. Just makes it sound super screwed up. So, and it has to feel really nice with the end. The other thing I really like about the end is how it ends with the drums. So if you listen to it, just a dum, it just sounds massive and really cool. So yeah, that's the whole song. I know the last time with Against the Odds, I also went really deep into the FX track. I have to say this track doesn't have like a big FX track. It mainly has some snare bombs on there, some arena cheers, some extra claps, all that kind of stuff, just to enhance the drums. Actually, there are not much other effects on this because there is like already a full orchestra, 100 synthesizers, a full metal band, two singers, and then gonna add like extra production samples and that kind of stuff. That's just too much for this song. So I can say the next song that we're going to release at the end of June, we're going to release something really special. We've been working together with an amazing artist. Is totally the opposite way around. There is no orchestrational on there, and it's mainly a lot of post-production FX kind of stuff. It is really poppy with a lot of other stuff mixed to it. I cannot wait for you guys to hear it too. So, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. And yeah, in June, we're going to release, at the end of June, I'm going to release something really, really cool. And I'm going to do another video like this and really deep dive into that song too. So if you like these types of videos, there is one coming at the end of next month. For now, I want to thank you for everyone that sticked around again for 40 minutes. I was like, last time it was 45 minutes because I had to explain how the whole band came together and stuff. This time the video will be 15 minutes. Well, I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. I really hope that that everyone who watched this till the end liked it, liked to get an insight into our music, and I'll just keep making these and we'll see what happens. For now, really, really thank you, and till the next one.